The Islamic view of the end of times is filled with drama, prophecies, and lessons. It's called Ilm al-Akhirah, or the knowledge of the hereafter, which includes what happens right before the Day of Judgment. In today's video, we'll be taking a closer look at what the Qur'an and Sunnah have taught us about these events, because some may say it's all nonsense and has nothing to do with us today, but others believe it's actually unfolding right now and getting closer by the minute. So which is it? Is this really happening or not? And if so, what should we make of it? Join me as we explore the truth about these predictions together. Let's get into it. Before we get into the major events, let's first talk about something scholars refer to as the signs of the hour, Ashrat al-Saa. These signs are divided into two categories, the minor and the major. The minor signs indicate that the end is approaching and getting closer, while the major signs mark specific events that must happen right before the end. Think of it like your phone's battery indicator. When it starts flashing red, you know it's time to charge your phone soon. Similarly, when these minor signs appear, they remind us to pay attention to our actions and behavior because the end is near. Let's start with a few examples of the minor signs already unfolding around us. The first one mentioned in the Hadith is that people will start lying and breaking their promises. This reminds me of how many deals, agreements, and treaties are broken every day, like when a company promises to make a product but doesn't deliver on time, or when a politician makes promises but doesn't keep them. People are getting less trustworthy and more focused on themselves. We see it in the news every day, don't we? Lying and cheating seem to be everywhere. Another sign mentioned in the Hadith is that people will start wasting water, food, and other things. This makes me think of how much waste there is in our world. When we throw away food or clothes we don't need, we're not thinking about how lucky we are to have enough and how others don't. It's easy for us to forget this when we see all this stuff around us. Next is the sign of people abandoning prayer or not praying on time. When we stop praying on time, it's not just about missing a religious duty. It's also about forgetting the things we should value. For many people, especially in the West, it's easy to ignore this sign since they may not see it as relevant to them directly. Another sign mentioned is the increase of sexual immorality. Today, we see all kinds of intimate relationships and sexual behaviors that were not accepted in the past. People are having relationships outside of marriage and experimenting with different kinds of intimacy. Finally, the last sign is the spread of interest and usury. Interest means making money from money, and usury is charging too much interest. It's been normal in many countries to earn money by keeping money or charging interest for loans. Even though it's forbidden in Islam, it's very common in the world of finance. Now, as we discuss these signs, it's important to remember that our actions have consequences. Just like when you use your phone and it gets low, if you want to keep using it, you need to charge it. Similarly, if we keep doing things that go against Islamic teachings, it might mean that we're moving further away from Allah's guidance and making the world a less pleasant place. That is why we should try to fix these problems and do good instead of focusing only on the negative. Now let's move on to the more dramatic events, the major signs. These events are like checkpoints that have to happen before the end. They remind us that there are greater things to come and help us prepare for what's ahead. First up, the coming of the Dajjal. The Dajjal, also known as the Beast or the Antichrist, is a tricky and deceptive leader who will cause trouble for people before the end. He'll pretend to be a religious guide, but will actually mislead many. The Qur'an and Hadith tell us he'll perform fake miracles to trick people and cause chaos and injustice. His goal is to test humanity and separate those who truly believe from those who don't. Believers are warned to be cautious, steadfast, and patient during his time, relying on their faith and avoiding his temptations. Then comes the descent of Prophet Isa. Prophet Isa's return is a pivotal moment in Islamic eschatology. After the Dajjal spreads chaos, Prophet Isa will return to earth as a just leader. His mission is to bring peace, unity, and order to the world. Before the final judgment, he will defeat the Dajjal, free people from oppression, and guide them towards justice and righteousness. His presence signifies hope and a renewed chance for humanity to choose the right path before the day of judgment. Next, the catastrophe of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. These are fierce and powerful groups who will cause great destruction. Their immense numbers and strength make them a formidable threat, causing panic and despair among people. However, they face divine intervention that ultimately eliminates the danger they pose, restoring order and balance to the world. This event serves as a reminder of Allah's power and control over all things. Lastly, the Great Tribulation. This is the final test for humanity before the Day of Judgment. During this period, intense suffering and hardship are widespread, challenging people's faith, patience, and endurance. However, this tribulation also leads to a spiritual awakening and strengthens the resolve of the righteous, preparing them for the ultimate reckoning and the establishment of Allah's perfect order. Amidst these major events, there's an even bigger event that many Muslims eagerly anticipate, the coming of the Mahdi. The Mahdi is a just and highly skilled leader who will appear before the end of times. His mission is to restore order, fight injustice, and guide the Muslim world during a time of chaos and confusion. Muslims believe that the Mahdi will lead them to victory, prosperity, and peace, setting the stage for the final events leading up to the Day of Judgment. Now, it is important to note that while Islamic eschatology provides a framework for understanding the events leading to the end of times, the exact timing and sequence of these events are unknown. It's not possible to predict when or how these prophecies will unfold. Instead, Muslims are encouraged to focus on living a righteous life according to Islamic principles, being prepared for the Day of Judgment, and seeking Allah's forgiveness for their sins. Think of these prophecies as stories that teach us important lessons about how the world might change in the future. They're not just scary tales, but guides that show us what we should and shouldn't do. They urge us to stay fair, kind, and faithful, no matter what, knowing that we'll have to answer for our actions. They also remind us to always be ready for the unexpected and to hold on tight to our beliefs. For Muslims, these prophecies aren't just about the end of the world. They're part of their faith and help them understand their place in the universe. They serve as constant reminders to live a good life, be helpful to others, and always put their trust in Allah. So let's take some time to reflect on the lessons these prophecies offer us. Should we be worried? Well, yes and no. Yes, because the Day of Judgment is coming for all of us, and we should be ready for it. But no, because worrying won't help. Instead, we should use this time to improve ourselves and get ready. What can we do? Well, we can start by trying to fix the problems we talked about earlier, like lying, wasting things, not praying, and being disrespectful. We can also try to be more hopeful and positive, because the end doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's a chance for us to start over and do better. Looking at these prophecies, we can realize that we're all responsible for what happens next. Our choices and actions today will affect what happens tomorrow. So let's work together to create a better world for everyone, not just for ourselves, but for those who come after us. And that's all for today. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos.